here. Today I speak to my friend Mariah, who is from Indiana in the US. We met in 2016 in a rooftop pool in Dubai. She is currently living in Scotland, is a huge advocate for Scottish travel. Has been living there for a few years now, and yeah, I really enjoyed this. It's nice having these conversations with someone who's equally as passionate about travel. And yeah, she's quite bubbly and yeah, just a really nice person, very positive. So I had a lot of fun. She talks about her favourite things in Scotland, things that on her bucket list that she hasn't quite done yet, and also a couple of things that she's done and probably wouldn't go back to do again. So yeah, as I said, it was a lot of fun. Sort of few questions bounced either way, which was nice. And yeah, as I said, I got a lot out of it. I hope you guys do too.
And this is my dog, Paris. I went on a soul-searching, devastated trip across the ocean. I booked that trip a week before I went because I was newly heartbroken. Flew from North Carolina where I was working as a brand manager. Met you at a hotel pool. You were like, want to get in my car and go to the mall? And I'm like, this is classic stranger danger, yes.
We ended up.
That could have ended very differently. Good thing you're not a pervert.
Yeah, I know. Some might disagree. But yeah, we ended up, was some Middle Eastern restaurant in the middle of the mall, and it was like that.
Yeah, where they do the...
Yeah. I don't even know what it's called. Can you remember what it's called?
No, but I can picture it really clearly in my mind. I would probably be able to find it if we went back. It was in the Dubai Mall.
Yeah.
That doesn't really narrow it down. There's a trillion.
I think I've still got the photo of this dude. I just remember he's all colourful and doing this. It was really cool.
Yeah. That's my only memory though of what we actually did in person.
Yeah, I think it pretty much is. And we've just been talking on and off about doing this podcast and just random voice notes.
Well, that was June of 2016. And what the hell is it now? February of 2022.
Fuck, was it?
You're one of my oldest friends.
Yeah. And we've spent all of one day.
That doesn't feel right though, does it? I feel like it's not possible that we only went to a meal
Yeah, I know.
6 years ago.
A bit of a shop around. But Dubai is such a cool place. I loved Dubai.
Yeah, same.
Have you been back?
I went back once after that for my brother when he was getting married in India. We stopped over in Dubai.
Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah. It is a cool place for stopovers though. It's literally sort of the center of the world, 6 hours or something to 6 hours to some parts of Europe, 6 hours to
Is it?
On
yeah, a lot of people go there from
might be 9 hours and then 6 hours to Asia. That's probably more.
6 hours to Asia. I've been to Dubai, but I really want to go to Japan or Thailand or something. I've never been any Asian country.
Thailand's awesome. I lived there for a few months. What's that?
Didn't you live on a riverboat in Thailand?
No, I lived with a couple of mates who were professional fighters over there and training Muay Thai and shit until I fucking popped my calf and then.
Wait, were you trying to be a fighter?
No, I've always wanted to do something like that. And then I went over there.
Kick someone in the face?
It was more a fitness thing. But then I was living with a couple of fighters and this Irish guy who was just like a weapon. And and then I was training twice a day, 2-hour sessions and then doing yoga and shit in the evening. And I popped my
yoga. You were drinking.
I was trying to do yoga, and I'm the most unflexible person of all time. But yeah, it was good fun. Thailand, the food's amazing. It's Asia, and it's just so cheap. Everything there is so cheap.
Have you been to Japan?
Nah, I'd love to go to Japan.
Let's go. I have a friend in Japan. I told you about him. He owns a crepe shop. Let's go.
Yeah, that'd be random, but that would be
No more random than when we met 6 years
yeah.
ago. We'll meet every 6 years.
I'll meet you in Japan for a crepe. But no, it's a really I'm like pretty high on the list. But
Yeah. Well, you were hop skipping around a different country every week before the plague.
yeah, before the end of the world.
Now you're talking about being settled in Australia. You're going to get pregnant and stay there.
Yeah, don't jinx me. um, but yeah, it's not like it's actually been like as much as this pandemic's been a pain in the ass. It's sort of been nice to sit still and work out. I don't know, like it's been all right. I'm over it now.
Out?
I'm over it now. Like I want to go overseas. My passport's expired. Like I haven't had an expired passport for age. And like I was so close to filling one that like to actually, I think I had 2 pages left. And then, yeah, it was obviously this shit show started and I never got to leave.
That's so sad. What are the rules now? Can't you leave now?
You can, but yeah, like you can go overseas now.
At your own peril.
Yeah, like Australia's just like I'm sure you heard on the news they were pretty strict in certain parts where
Novak.
we weren't allowed to leave. Yeah, like Novak and yeah, it was sort of like, and that's where I'm from, like down in Melbourne where the Australian Open was. So it was yeah, but like Melbourne was sort of a lot stricter than the rest. Like they had it go through pretty early and then they locked it down, and I think it was like 6 or 7, and it's been 6 or 7 lockdowns in the end there, and it's just been fucking brutal. But
yeah.
Anyway, hopefully
Sydney.
What's that?
I was gonna say, is that where the Opera House is? I'm like, no, that's Sydney.
No, that's Sydney.
I know that from Finding Nemo.
From what? Finding Nemo?
Yeah, they like talk about the Sydney Opera House in Finding Nemo.
Do they? I've never seen it.
Yeah, I think there's like some memory in there in my brain destroyed.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it.
You've never seen Finding Nemo?
I don't think so. I think I'd remember it.
I almost said it's filmed in Australia as if they actually.
Yeah, I'll watch it this weekend and I'll get back to you.
It takes place in Australia. It's like a Scottish person not having seen Shrek.
I love Shrek. Shrek is sick. So why did you move to Scotland?
Because essentially I just really love Scotland. Like, when I'm in Indiana. I hate telling this story because it makes me sound like such a weirdo. And then people really hook onto it and they're like, you love hobbits? I'm like, no. So I was watching Lord of the Rings when I was like 10 in rural Indiana. Like I had never even been on public transportation. I'd never left the country. And I had a crush on one of the hobbits who I then Googled, and it was Billy Boyd, and I looked up an interview with him, and he had a Glaswegian accent, and I was like, oh, damn. And it's like, where the hell, what is Scotland? Like, I've literally never even heard of Scotland. The education system in India is not great. And so then the more I researched about Scotland, the more I was like, oh my God, I would love it there. And so then when I was in college, I studied abroad in Glasgow, and everyone's like, it's not going to be as good as you think it's going to be. It was even better. Loved it. So then for like the next 5 years, I tried to get a work visa to come back, and they were like, hell no, we don't know you. So eventually I was like, fine, take all my money. I'll get my master's degree that I don't even want just to get the student visa.
Yeah.
But it was like me in a classroom of like 5 other students that were all there getting a master's purely for the visa. But it was like me and like 4 students from Africa and 1 guy from India. And then there's me, and we're all like We're just here for the visa. So we got our master's degrees, and now I live here forever.
Very
so
good.
Far. I mean,
Because
we'll see.
you're sponsored now. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have to get this. I have to get it renewed next year for another 3 years, and then after that, I can apply for indefinite leave to remain. And then by the time I'm like 34, they won't be able to kick me out. So I still have a long road.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. Scotland's sick. It's a good place to live.
Yeah.
And you're in Edinburgh?
Yeah, so I moved to Edinburgh this summer, which I love Edinburgh. It's gorgeous, right? It's like really postcard city, but I think we've talked about this, like Glasgow's nitty, like gritty city vibes.
I liked Glasgow better. The people, I like the
Glasgow
people.
humor. It's better.
And the accent.
Yeah, love the accent. Although
Yeah.
I've been really into Irish lately, so we'll see.
Have you been to Ireland?
Yeah, several times, but Dublin and like the West Coast, I love the West Coast. The West Coast of everywhere. West Coast of Scotland's best, and the West Coast of Ireland.
Yeah.
Not the West Coast of the US.
Yeah. Do you like haggis?
So I'm pescatarian now, but I did really like haggis. Like I would eat it if I was drunk.
Yeah, I love haggis.
Deep fried, like a special haggis from a chip shop. Anything deep fried.
I love their fried shit there.
But not like the deep fried Mars bars. Have you had one of those?
No, I don't like them. I tried one. They're
Ooh.
disgusting.
It's like the breading of a fish supper, but like with molten chocolate. It's a nasty combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not my favourite thing. What's your favourite part of Scotland?
Oh my God. I love the West Coast. So a ton of places around the West Coast, and not to be super basic because everyone's like, oh, the Isle of Skye. But the Isle of Skye is really gorgeous. The Quering on the Isle of Skye, after I quit my job and moved here, I went there and I cried because it was so beautiful. And I was like, I'm so happy I quit my job.
Yeah.
But I've been to like a lot of the islands and stuff, like the Shetlands and Orkney and the Outer Hebrides. And I love like any of the isles. I really want to go to St. Kilda, which is like the abandoned isle. Like it was populated until 1930, and then the last residents had to give it up. It's like impossible to reach even today unless it's like really good weather in the summer.
Which is probably 2 days a year.
I know. I tried to go up one year and I was there and the weather like didn't permit. So they always like refund your money. It's this little company that has one little ferry that goes back and forth in the summer months for like £300.
Yeah.
And they just like take you to look at it and then bring you back. But I love like abandoned, like really remote areas.
Yeah, nice. Well, Scotland's
For the
got plenty of
drama.
them. Have you got a favorite castle you went to?
Dunnottar Castle, and is it Inver something? Dunnottar Castle is a good one.
Inverness?
No, Inverness is a bit. I like the town of Inverness, but it's a bit overrated. But Dunnottar, I think that's up in Aberdeenshire. I don't know. I've literally been everywhere in Scotland.
That's good. Have you got a car there? Do you do like heaps of road trips?
No, I had a car that I lost in the separation.
Yeah.
My ex sold it. It was like a 2000 Honda Civic. I love a car that you can like bump into things and be like, whatever.
Yeah.
So it was one of those, but it was the cheapest automatic we could find because I can't drive stick shift. What do you even call it?
Manual. Yeah.
No, I can't drive that. So holy shit. What the fucking hell? Shut up. Shut up. I'm going to throw this at you. Shh.
Would you say you're an introvert or an extrovert?
What would you say?
I'd say extrovert.
You'd say introvert?
I'd say extrovert.
Oh,
Seeing
yeah.
all how extroverted all your birthday parties are.
I'm like somebody that would talk to anybody in like an airport or a random swimming pool or like whatever. But then I definitely need to recharge as well after like I get, well, I don't know if I've talked to you about this. I'm 99% sure I have ADHD. The more I read about it, the more I'm like, that is such a fit. So I think I get way overstimulated and I'm like, I need to get away from things.
Go back into like hibernation for a bit.
Yeah, because I will like ping off walls around other people.
Yeah, me too. ADD or ADHD coming at you.
The hyper one, the pinging off walls one. People always are like, are you drunk? And I'm like, no, I'm just excited.
Oh, it's a good way to be though.
Is it? It's a little hectic.
A little extra.
This
out
is
of
just
your...
Coke, by the way.
What's that?
This is just Coke, by the way. It's not.
Oh, is it? It looks like red wine. That's what I was like, just woke up, red wine.
Yeah, I'm half asleep. No, it's Coke.
So out of all the stuff that you've done in terms of your travel,
What?
Out of all the things you've done traveling, what would be like your sort of your top or your favorite experiences? You know, like one or two favorite experiences that you've had, like amazing hike, a festival, a place you've been to. Like what would you say?
Oh my God, I went to. I don't know. That's so hard. I really liked. So I'm going to exclude Scotland from the list because I love everything about Scotland. Like it's a bit boring. I loved when I went to Dubai. Well, then I went to Abu Dhabi and I did like the whole desert excursion, like seeing the stars. I had camel. It's not really nice to eat camel right after you've ridden a camel because camels are disgusting. But otherwise, I really just liked experiencing Abu Dhabi because it was so different from anywhere I'd ever been, like the mosque and like that whole day. And I met this, Italian woman and her mother, and she was a big lady. She was a really tall, large woman, and her name was Petite because her mom didn't speak English or French or whatever, and like named her that, not knowing that it meant small. So it's really ironic. But when we were at the mosque, I guess somebody was talking, like she was trying to take a picture of me at the mosque, and somebody was like talking crap about me in Italian, and she like turned to him and like gave them shit back in Italian. I'm like, awesome! I've always wanted to be able to do that, but I only speak English.
Me too.
I would say like Abu Dhabi was awesome. And then like the 24 hours I spent in Sweden, and I had like moose tartare and like reindeer and then ended up in some like hole in the wall bar underground by chance. And it was just a lot of fun. I met a lot of cool people.
In Stockholm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of there for like a layover. Where was I going? I think I was like traveling to Iceland. It was a stopover for some reason. Was I coming back from Hungary? Whatever. But
have you seen the Northern Lights?
No. So I was booked. I went to Iceland. I was booked in to see whales, which I'm now weirdly really scared of. That's been like a recent phobia. I don't know. I haven't had any bad whale experiences. I don't know why that happened. But I was booked in to see whales and Northern Lights, and none of them happened. I went on the tours, and I didn't see either.
You hear so many stories about like people flying over there for like a week, and just the weather's not right. Like all the stars need to align for it to happen.
Have you been to Iceland?
I haven't been to Iceland. I saw the Northern Lights in Canada.
What?
So Yeah.
Was it everything they say?
Yeah, it was sick. Like I
Were you
bought
on something?
I bought a car in Banff just for this. And then
Oh, I
basically,
love Banff.
yeah, Banff is like a fairy tale city.
God, I forgot about that. That should be like top of the list. Banff was like the best place I've ever been.
I'd have to, yeah, it'd be up there with mine as well. Like it's just beautiful.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
I bought a car and drove like 20 hours north, through like the worst shit I've ever driven in to try and
Why?
just to see the Northern Lights. I wasn't going home until I'd seen them. And so yeah, I literally bought a car for it because and then everywhere I stopped along the way, it was basically like just shit weather and it wasn't happening. So I'm like, where else can I see them? And then I kept looking on like this Northern Lights app and just kept driving and driving and driving. And yeah, I finally got up to this place called Yellowknife, I think.
Greenland?
No, Yellowknife or Yellowstone, Yellowknife, I think. And yeah, like did like the dog sledding and all that sort of shit. But
What?
like 4 nights in a row, it like wasn't happening. And I'm like, I'm not leaving until this happens. So I ended up, and then it was like I drove out into like the middle of a frozen lake, which is only open for like the road's only open for like 4 months of the year because it's ice.
Yeah.
So it's like a frozen lake, and then I'm just sitting there I'm going to send you something on Google Maps where it's like,
wait, were you
I'm
in your car on the lake?
Yeah, so I'm literally parked on the middle of this frozen lake. It's a road because it freezes, and I'm sitting there just like waiting with the fucking heater on, going, "Is this gonna happen? Is this gonna happen?" And then I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And then I got out and saw them, and I was like, holy shit, this is, and it was fucking sick. It was like one of the best, that's the best thing I think I've ever seen. Like, so,
wow. Thanks for rubbing it in.
Yeah, cheers. No worries. You live in Scotland. It's fucking cheap as to fly there. So,
well, apparently you can see the Northern Lights from Scotland, especially all these really northern-ass places that I've been in Scotland that no, because it's like you have to have, it has to be right meteorologically.
Yeah.
Science.
I'm glad you said that.
Whatever. I'm like, yes, I got it. All that has to mesh, and then you need a clear sky, and that's what you never get in Scotland. It's never a clear sky.
Yeah. Get back to Iceland. Or
Iceland.
Go back to Banff.
That conditioning mask at the Blue Lagoon did wonders for my hair.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
I know you can't relate.
I was going to say no comments.
Did you rub it on your arms? You could. Oh, you've not been to Iceland.
No, I haven't been to Iceland. I do want to go there. Like, there's so much more of like Iceland. I want to go to Greenland.
The whole country smells like eggs.
Eggs?
And fish. Eggs and
Really?
fish. The sulfur.
Oh, yeah.
All the hot water's pulled like directly up from whatever's underneath the earth. Science. But it smells like sulfur, so the hot water, like lots of stuff there just smells like eggs. The Blue Lagoon smells like eggs. And then like really there's fish everywhere, so it's like fishy eggs.
Nice.
I'm selling it. And it's so expensive. Oh my God.
I've heard it's one of the most expensive places.
Yeah. If I went back, I would rent a car for sure. That would make way more sense.
If what would be your favourite city you've been to, excluding
Glasgow.
Scotland?
I really love Italy, so probably I really loved Venice.
Yeah.
I went to Milan. I went in this cafe. The toilet was a hole in the ground. It's like the middle of Milan. Isn't that random?
Yeah,
like I had those toilets in India. I was not expecting them in Milan.
What about in America? Have you traveled much of America?
Oh yeah, my weird ass parents quit their jobs. Similar, like parents like child. And then when I was like it was when we were being homeschooled, which is what I blame most of my weirdness on, that period of my life where I was homeschooled. And they had a giant motorhome, and we went on a 3-month trip around the U.S. I'm like, how did you guys both quit your jobs? But anyways, we did that, and that sounds awesome. We went to like all the national parks, but I don't remember most of it, which sucks.
Yeah.
But like Yellowstone and the redwoods and all that. But I really like, as an adult, I loved Washington, D.C. I thought it was really multicultural. It's a really pretty, clean city. There's just a lot going on there. And how much did I like San Francisco? It was a little hilly, but I liked San Francisco.
It is very hilly.
Yeah.
Working out those calves.
I think any of the other ones are like too big for me. Like I visited my friend in New York, and they're like, you're way too nice to live here. And we were walking down the street, and I startled someone, and I apologized, and then I realized it was a pigeon. And I just apologized to a pigeon.
The ADP.
New York is rough. I'm way too nice. I'm from the Midwest. We make casseroles and pie. I literally, when I moved here, made a pie for my neighbor, and they were like, what the fuck?
I've never been to Indiana. I'd like to go.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Let me dash your dreams now.
Out of all the places, like the cities you've been to, like which one would you, well, you're living in it, but which one would you say that you'd really like to live in?
Glasgow.
Glasgow.
I'd say if I moved back to the U.S., I'd probably go back to North Carolina, or I'd move to, I love Charleston, South Carolina. Oh my God. I have family there. It is, I mean, it's hot as balls, but it's so nice. But yeah, so I would live there, or like Washington, D.C. probably. But honestly, I would never do either of those because I would stay here.
I haven't been to either of them.
Really?
No.
Oh my God, you have to go to Savannah, Georgia, and Charleston, South Carolina. The food, you will gain 100 pounds, but it will be worth it. You'll be sweaty, but you're Australian, so you're probably used to that. It might even be a cool breeze for you.
Yeah, nice.
In my mind, Australia is like unbearably hot.
Where I'm from, the summers do get hot, but the winters are freezing. But
Summers are hot, winters are cold. What a unique place.
Yeah, I know, it's strange, isn't it? But up here now, like up in the Northern Rivers, it's sort of not. It doesn't really get cold. Like it's just like the further north you get in Australia, it's sort of just more tropical.
Just asking for like ginormous bugs because there's no winter to kill them.
There's plenty of snakes, spiders. Yeah.
Have you ever been bitten by a poisonous thing?
No, not like, obviously not lethal, but I've been bitten by a couple of spiders. I actually got bitten by one the other day on the hand, but not like bad. It just sort of stings. So it wasn't a bad one because my hand's still here. So, but yeah, it's just gardening and something bit me through.
Oh no, that's right. You're out here doing gardening in Australia. Fuck that, no.
There's a big like sort of 3-meter python that lives on the property. And like during,
have you named him?
during like the hot days, it's like 35 degrees. It like sits up in the roof and like sleeps. It's I don't know how it does it, but it's like hot as fuck.
How it gets on the roof, or how it?
No, how it just sits there basking in the sun. Like it's just.
Well, aren't they cold-blooded?
Yeah, they are, but it's still like you couldn't put your hand on the roof, and this thing's just sleeping there.
Satan. I'm not like scared of snakes. Like most people are like, oh, I'm terrified of snakes, but I'm also not like their biggest fan.
Yeah. Is there a country that you wouldn't go back to?
So while I was there, I swore to the heavens I would never return. But now that I've left, I'm like, I would go back. But when I went to Bangalore in India for my brother's wedding. First of all, I was with my family in like a tiny hotel room. We just like don't get on in that close of proximity. And then I was also working because it was when I was in America, so I didn't have enough vacation days to take off. So I was like, that's fine. I'll work during American hours and then I'll do like India stuff. But it ended up I was genuinely so sleep deprived. I started just getting sick. I was up like 23 hours a day. It was not practical. So I just had a miserable time. And like Bangalore is not really a tourist city at all. I had a lot of people like handing me their babies and like taking pictures of me.
Yeah, how strange is it?
It was crazy. So I was like, I'm never coming back here. But I would definitely go back. I want to see like New Delhi and go to the Taj Mahal and like get out of the Bangalore city.
Yeah. Yeah. India's cool.
Didn't you live in India? Am I imagining that?
No, I was there for 6 weeks. So
that's pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much living there. Yeah, give me citizenship. Yeah. The food was good, but it was.
It's so I can't handle spicy.
It was a different experience. Like it was way different. I said the same thing. I was like, it's one country I'll never go to. I'll never go back. Like 6 weeks, I've seen enough. But then
I feel like you've crushed it 6 weeks.
But like I actually would go back because it was sort of 5 or 7 years ago. Shit. And like now you're sort of now I'm sort of like in that sort of spirituality, going down that path.
Okay, you're gonna go.
I want to go and become a yogi, like
you're gonna start a cult.
Yeah, could do that.
All yoga teachers end up in a cult.
Yeah, there's some show on Netflix about that, but
yeah, I love a cult documentary. I'm just fascinated by it. Like, could I convince people to do anything? Like how do they do it?
Possibly. Pretty convincing on Scotland anyway. Now, you haven't been to Australia. That was the next question. Have you been? But no. Is there
I actually went. I just didn't tell you I was there.
I would be filthy.
What if I was on the total opposite side? It's a giant place.
Yeah, well, the Western Australia, even I haven't been there.
See?
It's like 4.5 hours.
What's over there?
Well, they're basically their own country now anyway because no one's allowed in or out. So with all this COVID shit going on, but they're really
it's
strict.
Different as like New York and like Alabama.
I think it's a lot more chilled. Like I don't know, I haven't been there, but like the beaches are pristine, the coral, like everything over there, the reefs. It's just. Yeah, apparently it's amazing. So I am planning on going there, hopefully next year. So, yeah, apparently the western side. So it goes back to what you said.
I keep saying west is best, so you'll have to let people know.
Is there anything that you wouldn't travel without? Like a diary, a Swiss Army knife?
Can you imagine a Swiss Army knife? I'm terrified of knives. I'm trying to think of something not basic. I have an extensive skincare regimen. I literally counted one time. You know how you could take like one bag of like liquids? Yeah. I have all these tiny little vials, and I counted. It was like 29 different products.
No way.
But I would have to travel without that. I'm trying to think if I was really roughing it. What would I need? Well, I don't know. Probably that.
Probably that. The other mates were like, noise cancelling headphones and just...
Oh, right.
Not 29 different makeups.
A good book on humankind.
That's actually the next question. What's your favourite book?
I love this book, Tiny Beautiful Things by Cheryl something. Tiny Beautiful Things. It's like she used to write an advice column, so it's a lot of people writing in and then what her response to them are, but they're like really gritty stories of people who have been through some tough shit. and it's just really good. I really like that. And my favorite book growing up was always Oliver Twist.
Yeah,
I
nice.
love a British period piece. What can I say?
Nice. What would your favorite food cuisine be?
Well, I'm so glad you asked because in Indiana, shout out to Fort Wayne, there is this restaurant called Casa's, which everyone's like, is it Mexican? No, it's Italian. Casa Restaurante.
Casa Restaurante.
And they make this dish, pasta con verdura. It's basically like really fancy mac and cheese because they would be so offended. It's literally a bunch of types of cheese, but they get their Parmesan from Italy and they won't tell anyone, me specifically, where they get it from. When I was in Italy, I tried Parmesan from like every shop and it's not the same. They're all very different. But like one time I had the stomach flu and I got sick 12 times in a day and I still ate there. After I got my tonsils removed while I was still hyped up on the meds, I ate that.
Rightio. Well, that's a
Like,
pretty
that
big
was my
endorsement.
favorite dish in the world, which I'm like, at this point, it has to be like some sentimental, like psychological thing because there's no way everyone that I make try it is like, yeah, I mean, it's nice.
But
And
yeah.
I'm like, I would kill for this.
All right. Well, that's good. Good
All
endorsement.
right. All right.
Very good. Very all right.
But also like American Mexican food, which I know is not Mexican food, but
The Tex-Mex.
I love it. Yeah, I love a Tex-Mex.
Yeah. I like
There's a
that.
cheese theme here.
Yeah. I love Tex-Mex. It's probably one of my favorites. Favorite drink, favorite alcoholic beverage.
Oh, like a classic lime margarita on the rocks. I also love anything with rum in it. So like tequila and rum. I used to start every night out by going up to the bar and getting a double tequila shot. And that's also how I would start any flight. It was like a tradition with myself, get like a double or triple. You can get a triple tequila shot. It's just a glass of tequila.
Fuck, tequila used to ruin me. I learned to like it in Mexico, but yeah, very
Yeah, I love it.
nice. What's the strangest thing you've ever eaten? Like you were saying before, moose, camel. Have you eaten
Yeah, wow.
spider? Like you've already answered it, but is there
I
anything else?
know. Other than that, I've eaten like the classic like candied cricket and like you've never eaten bugs?
Yeah, I've eaten bugs. I've eaten
Yeah.
everything.
I think that's the weirdest thing. I used to be like really queasy when it came to food. I couldn't eat anything that was like, I feel like now that I'm pescatarian, I'm back to that. Like everything grosses me out.
Yeah. So is pescatarian, does that mean, is that like vegan as well or not?
No, so that's like vegetarian plus fish. But
Okay. So you still eat cheese and
what's weirdly happened, which I hate, I'm going to just have to go back to chicken because it's not sustainable. But it's been over 2 years now that I've been doing this. But like once I started cutting out animal products, other animal products started grossing me out. And I'm like, no, like I almost lost eggs completely there for a second. It was touch or go with eggs. And that's like one of my main protein sources. But like fish has started to like, I can do it, but it's getting touch and go.
yeah, I love fish. Is
I
there
had a
even
bad
good
fall
fish in
experience.
Scotland?
What?
Is there even good fish over there? I don't think
We're
I
like
ate
an
fish once.
island.
Yeah, I know, but like I didn't eat good fish there.
But it is because it's cold Atlantic waters, so all the fish is like small, like the crabs are tiny, all like snow crab legs in the States that you get that are like giant crab legs. You can't get that here. But I bet in Australia your seafood is ginormous.
Yeah, we got the big
You just have like
prawns,
monster crabs,
monster prawns. It's
extreme lobster.
extreme lobster. Yeah, we get really
Warm water.
We get really good seafood here. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I bet.
What's the most what is the most frustrating thing or fucked up thing to happen to you while you've been traveling in like a hostel or?
Oh my God. The most frustrating. I've missed a lot of planes, but that's been like more my fault than anything. One time I was trying to surprise my ex-boyfriend in Scotland, and like my first flight was delayed. This is so dramatic. You have to understand that this was many years ago. I was a lot less emotionally regulated than I am now. And I'm still pretty fucking wild. So like, just imagine. This was before I even met you. So I was a hot mess. And I only had 3 days to get to Scotland because American vacation days, they don't exist. So I'm like trying to surprise him. I haven't seen him in like 5 months. My flight's delayed. I'm in North Carolina, so it's the Bible Belt, right? Out of the clear blue sky, some people that can see that I am in distress come up to me and form a prayer circle.
What?
Literally. They're like, are you okay? I was like silent crying, okay? I wasn't like making a scene. And I was like, I'm worried I'm going to miss my flight. And they're like, prayer circle. And they're like, the one guy was like, this man used to have MS. He couldn't walk. But now, because of Jesus, he can walk again.
Oh, my God.
And then they tried to invite me to like Winston-Salem in North Carolina to come to their apartment for like a prayer session. I'm like, cult.
That would have freaked the fuck out of me.
Yeah, strangers touching you in an airport. But then I got on that flight, and like the whole flight, I was getting progressively more distressed. So like the flight attendant moved me up to first class and like brought me a beverage, like an alcoholic beverage to calm me the hell down. And like this really nice man was like, you just run for your connecting flight. I've got your bags. My bag is like under the plane. He's like, I'll get your bag. I'll run it across to you. Everyone is being so nice. Isn't that nice?
That is nice.
I missed the flight. I didn't make the flight. But like I ran up to the gate and it was shutting like as I ran up to it. And the guy comes behind me like a minute later, like running with my suitcase. I missed the flight, but I cried so hard that they upgraded me to first class to Amsterdam.
No shit, really?
Like I was supposed to be flying to London, and they're like, technically, the lady at the front desk was like, I can't technically do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. Hotel for the night. Here's a food voucher. First class to Amsterdam. Then we're going to reroute you to Glasgow. So it all worked out.
Very good.
It was because of that prayer circle.
Yeah, of course. I've never flown first class. That'd be sick. Maybe I need a prayer circle.
Yeah. It was really nice. You should just cry in public more. I don't think I'd get away with it now. I was like a 20-year-old little tit at the time, and they're like, oh, look at this mess.
Yeah, nice. If you had any tips to give somebody who's about to go on a big trip, what would they be?
Oh, Xanax. No. I don't know. Just definitely do your research beforehand. Like I thought that a lot when I went to Dubai as well. I obviously did, but it's not just like doing the research to keep yourself safe. It's also about being respectful. Like I got really annoyed when we were in the Middle East and like you see these people half naked everywhere. And it's like, okay, fair enough. You might be getting away with that legally, but it's disrespectful as hell. So do your research and stay safe. Don't go with strangers you meet at hotel pools in their car. It's dangerous.
That turned out all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I would just look it up before because I've definitely been on trips before where I'm like, wait, where are we on a map? I have no idea how I got here.
Yeah.
And that's not like the best way to be, but
that's good.
Yeah.
And do you have a bucket list?
I actually found a bucket list that I wrote in a journal when I was like 10 the other day, and I've pretty much crushed it. It was like kiss a Scottish guy, kiss a Irish guy, kiss in the rain. And I was like, is this really my bucket list? But I've crushed it. But now, I don't know. I mean, I really want to go to Japan. I would love to go to like New Zealand and Australia. I'm not somebody that like feels inclined to throw myself out of airplanes or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I'm not like an adrenaline junkie in that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess travel a bit more. It's a lame bucket list.
No, it's not.
Better than kiss somebody of every nationality.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one.
Me and my roommates, when I was first in Scotland, my Canadian roommate and my other American roommate when we were in Glasgow, we got a giant map of the world, and we got these stickers, and every time one of us kissed somebody from a different country, we would put a sticker. And some guy, the Canadian girl hooked up with a guy that lived below us, and he was in our apartment one day, and he's like, hey, oh my gosh, that's where I'm from. How random is that? Because there was a star on his like hometown. He never clocked on. Thank God.
You never clocked on?
He never got that. Like, obviously, that's why.
So Aussie lingo.
Bring it.
We're doing it. So, Arvo.
Avo? Avocado.
Afternoon.
There's no V in afternoon.
Arvo.
Avo.
Afternoon.
Avocado.
So we just, I don't know, it's like, you know, what are you up to this Arvo? And it's just, yeah. Barbie.
Barbie is the barbecue.
Barbecue, yeah. You know
the grill.
A bogan.
A bogan? A booger.
Booger. No, a bogan's like a derelict, like a sort of like a like a bogan.
Oh, a bogan.
No. Like a bogan's like a sort of a rough, like Aussie guy, like who basically just drinks beer and watches sport and talks in like slang all the time. And it's like, this guy's such a fucking bogan. Like, you sit there, he'd be swearing all the time. And yeah, bogan. No, yeah, me. Yeah, sometimes. But yeah, like they say, yeah, it's like you're wearing like these short shorts, have like the pop belly, and just like sits there smoking his darts. And
sounds pretty American.
Pretty what?
American?
Yeah, it does. Like, yeah, bogan. A bottle-o.
A bottle-o? A bottlenose dolphin.
A bottle-o is like a liquor store.
A bottle-o?
Yeah, or an offie. What do you call it over there? Offies? Off license?
I guess they would maybe say off license. I'm not sure what they would, like just the corner shop? I don't know.
Esky?
Esky? A popsicle.
Esky is like a chili bin, or like a box where you put your ice in, and then you chuck all your beers in there.
Oh!
What?
Popsicles icy. That like there was something there. I made a connection.
Yeah, you were close. Mind. It's definitely the closest. A mozzie.
A mozzie. Mozzarella pizza.
Mosquito.
Ah! I should have got that.
Ripper.
A surfer.
So like, nah. So if you say like, you little ripper, or you bloody ripper, means like really good.
No.
A servo?
Like a waiter.
No, it's a gas station.
Like a service shop. I was thinking like a server.
A service station. Yeah.
Yeah.
A slab?
A slab? A steak.
It's a case of beer.
Oh God,
So
these are
it's like,
so many alcohol
yeah, they
things.
are. Well, I suppose thongs.
Thongs are flip-flops.
Yeah, well done. You got one.
Flip-flops. Yes.
Flip flop. Stoked.
Excited.
Yeah. You got another one.
Yeah.
Two in a row.
Oh my God,
Brekkie.
I'm on fire. What?
Brekkie.
Breakfast.
Yeah. Fucking 3. Finish 3 for 3. You come home sailing. But
Is that it?
yeah,
watched
that's
the
it.
end.
That's it. You've done
I
well.
really brought it home.
Is there anything you want to ask me?
Oh my God, this is like a job interview.
Yeah.
Where do you think, do you have any concerns about my resume that I could address now?
Send it through. Yeah.
Where's your favorite place that you've been?
I can give you like a top 3 or 4 or something.
Oh, okay, we get it. You're well-traveled.
No, I just can't pick one. Like Banff would be probably one.
Yeah.
Argentina, like I love, like the Perito Moreno Glacier would be, I think, my favorite thing. It's
Specific?
in Patagonia.
Super specific?
Yeah, it's probably the best, like up there with the Northern Lights, but that is incredible, and that's in Patagonia in Argentina.
Have you been to Machu Picchu?
Yes, I went there. That was
Have you?
that was my number one on my bucket list for a long time. I didn't when I actually moved to London, I had no idea what that was, and my mate had it as his background on his laptop, and I was like, what the hell is that place? And he's like, that's Machu Picchu. And I was like, where is this? And he's like, Peru. And I was like, where the fuck is Peru? And then, I started studying that. And yeah, it was like Machu Picchu is really, really cool.
That's awesome. I would love to see that.
Yeah, that'd probably be, I'd say, yeah, up there as well. And I really liked Cappadocia in Turkey. It's like, the famous sort of spot where they're like all the hot air balloons, and it's...
Oh, yeah. Have you been on a hot air balloon?
No, I haven't. It's actually, so I've got, where is it? I've got it tattooed. I can't see, it's all blurred, but I've got it tattooed on my arm because one of my good friends told me before I went on this trip, like, look, if you run out of money and you've got to borrow it to do, you've got to borrow money to do that experience, just fucking do it. And, like, because it's going to cost you a hell of a lot more to go back there and do it. And I didn't do that because of the money.
Why?
Just because of the cash. And I just, in the end, it's like one of my biggest regrets. So I got that tattooed on
which is almost the same.
Which is, there's actually, they do them here, and I'm supposed to be doing it for my birthday next month. So
Hell no.
I would love, what, you're not going to go on one?
Hell no. A giant balloon, you're in a little flimsy fucking basket, holding on for dear life at the mercy of the wind. Oh, no.
Hell yeah.
You can't control where you're going. You can control up and down, but you can be blown right into the ocean.
Yeah. Well, you can swim.
And get eaten by God knows what.
Yeah.
No, you're in a little basket. What if you fall? I would fall over the basket.
Well, I've never been, but I presume that they're very high baskets. I don't know.
How high?
I don't know.
I bet I could tip over.
Yeah, probably.
No.
But
that would terrify me. I'm not into heights.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's on my bucket list.
Be
Be very
safe.
good.
Do you think that you'll like end up when you're an old man living in Australia, like when you are retired? You're semi-retired now.
Um, I don't know. Like, I always sort of said I'll never end up living in Australia. Like, I imagine it would be somewhere in Asia, just because you can live very well there. Like, if I sold everything in Australia and moved to Asia, like, you can live very well there off a lot less than what you can in Australia. So, but I don't know. I'm 36 now, and as I said, I'm sort of kind of enjoying being in this part of Australia. We'll see. You know what I'm like. Like, I change weekly, or
I
month.
know, but now you're sounding pretty settled in your old
So,
age, in your golden
but
years.
I've got some good friends that live in Bali. So,
Nice.
that was a place where I was going to move before the pandemic. Um, but that'd probably be the place I'll go. Like, there's like all these other islands which I really want to go to, like Komodo National Park, which is like on Flores. And that's an
Oh,
island which I'm just hanging to go to. But I don't think
hang.
I'll ever live anywhere. It's more the fact that my family is here, and
Yeah.
if I left Australia, I find it hard to get it's hard to get back into Australia if you go to certain countries at the moment. So if they
Mm.
get sick, like it's sort of, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think I'll end up living in Australia for good. No, I think it will be somewhere in Asia.
Wow. Well, we'll see.
We will see.
Do you
You
think you'll like settle down or will you just be like Bachelor Conan exploring Thailand
might, I don't know.
with
Like,
5 women?
I've been single for a long time.
Yeah, how long? Since Dubai?
Yeah, pretty much for like five
Genuinely, I
years.
think that's like 6
So
years.
6 years.
Girl, you need to get together.
But yeah, like, I don't know if you meet the right person, then possibly. But like, at the moment, I'm
You'll
happy.
start one of
So
those YouTubes. We're a travel van couple.
yeah, well, then it'll be one of them. But yeah, I don't know. We'll just sort of see what happens. At the moment, you sort of just wing it. Someone takes me fancy, then we'll sort of see how it goes.
On the eve of your 37th.
Yeah,
37.
I know. I'm fucking ancient.
So you're
I
going to
still,
ride a hot air balloon for your birthday and then
I,
what?
s- I still feel young as hell though. Like, that's a
You
problem.
look
Like,
young.
I do. I thank
If
you.
you shaved, you'd look just like a tattooed baby.
No, I fucking tattooed baby. I hate being clean shaven.
It would be so weird if you shaved.
Yeah, it's pretty strange.
Did you have a beard when I met you? I feel like you did.
Yeah, I would have. I'm very, like, it happens like once a year where I'll like clean shave, or like not even clean shave, but just use clippers and get rid of most of it. But
Are you getting any more tattoos? Your head's still an open
yeah,
space.
I've still got my head. I would like to do this at one stage.
Really?
Yeah, like maybe just the hairline, but we'll see. But yeah, like, I want to get the rest of my torso done this year. So yeah,
Nice.
that will possibly happen, I reckon, sort of towards, well, once it starts getting a bit colder, and you're not supposed to have sun on it for 2 weeks after. So while this good
Yeah.
weather's around, it won't be happening.
When does it start to get cold? Or like you said, it doesn't get cold, but when's the weather
Like,
change?
so the opposite for you guys. So at the like June, July, March, June, July, March, June, July.
Whoa, we're hopping
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah, June, July, August. They're probably, I suppose, the cooler months.
Interesting.
So
It's fascinating.
getting it designed at the moment. But yeah,
Oh, really? What do you think you'll get? Like, I feel like you have a lot of animals and like,
yeah, it's all of them are travel. So like, I've got sort of parts of like Cuba and stuff that I want to get done. And yeah, it's sort of,
Nice. I would
yeah.
like to go to Cuba. There's a lot of places that I would like to go, but I'm like scared to travel by myself. Like
Cu-
Morocco,
Cuba would
Turk.
probably, yeah, see the Arabic countries and India, like those are the ones that you probably shouldn't
Yeah,
be.
like India. My sister-in-law who's from India, she's like, "Don't you dare." And I'm like, I would genuinely not.
Yeah, no, that's
She's
a
like, I
pretty,
don't even travel alone.
no, it's not, no, it's, I don't think it's safe, especially for like a fucking blonde. They get a fair bit of attention. Like even like, but when you're talking about that before, like about people
Mhm.
handing you babies and stuff, like people were doing
I
the
could
same
be a
thing to
pervert.
me. Like, and I was like,
You could definitely be a pervert.
yeah, fuck off. But yeah, like how weird is that? Like I was at the front of Mumbai gate and then like, it was, you know, people are coming up and they're like handing me their baby and like, then the toddler is like standing next to me and like I'm holding this toddler's hand. It's screaming its head off and I'm holding this baby and I'm like, and then they're like smile and I'm like this. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, you know, all of a sudden I ended up asking one of my mates in India, I was like, if we go to their house, are we going to find like this? And they're like, yeah, you will literally find that photo up above the mantelpiece. And
Oh
it'll
my
be like,
God.
and like they sit there because a lot of the people that you meet in those big cities, they've come to India or like they've gone to Mumbai or these towns and they've come from
Yeah.
like a smaller town. So this is their big holiday and then they've never seen a person like
Oh,
this in real life, you know? So they've never seen someone who's like big tattooed guy, you know? So it's like,
you
it's
are a
really
sight.
strange. And then, yeah, like yourself, a sort of blonde chick. It's like, oh, okay, you know, we'll get a blonde chick. But
I
that's,
didn't
you know,
know how to hold a baby though. They handed me their baby and then they corrected the way I was holding it because I'm like, I've never held a child before. I'm like holding it like
really
out in front of
just
me. Yeah.
like a trophy.
No, because Bangalore is not touristy at all. So I was literally, and I wasn't fake tanning at the time either. So I am naturally translucent, like white,
Yeah,
reflective. Yeah. This is me with
class,
a tan, believe it or
flash,
not.
Scotland tan.
This is me with a tan.
Oh, well, thank you very much for that. It's been really good. It's
Thank
been,
you for having me. Finally,
I know,
6 years in the making.
it's been 18 months since we started talking about doing it, but
Have we? Did you?
I think so. I think it'd be, oh, it's probably, well, it'd be at least 12 months. I just sort of fell off. Once we come out of lockdown, I was like, I'm out and I need to go and do
Yeah.
some shit and have some fun because Melbourne was in like, I think it was at that stage, like one of the longest sort of cities where we had been in lockdown. And I
Yeah.
just lost
Like,
all
yeah.
motivation for all this and sort of didn't really have a plan with it. But now I'm a bit back on track with it and got some, I just want to have fun with it. Like it's just talking to people like yourself who are interesting
So
and have an
great. Interesting,
interesting story.
smart,
Yeah,
gorgeous, funny.
yeah, all of the above.
No, I'm
But
glad you're doing it. I need to watch some of your episodes. You used to post about it a lot. You don't post about
yeah,
it anymore.
I'm gonna start next month with it, and then this video
Once
will
you
probably
get
this
content.
video will go sometime in March, and then yeah, it'll be good.
Cool. My other TV show might air in March.
Yeah, well, bit of a conflict of interest.
Anyone in Scotland, call me.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you very much for that.
Yeah,
It's been very fun.
great to see you animated. First time in 6 years.
Yeah, no, it has been good. Very nice. Well, look after yourself, and we'll chat soon.